The whole golf swing is a whole body movement because the feet are working more like this, right? If your thought is you have to rotate right away, this is wrong. Hi guys, today we're talking about what starts the backswing and what starts the downswing. This is a question what I get asked a lot. And of course, you gotta know, or you should know. And in my opinion, you can think two different ways. Of course, the absolute right way is always to start from the bottom up. So the ground starts, the ground really, you're pushing yourself a little bit away from the ground into your backswing, and also the downswing, it's pushing to the left and then you're straightening yourself. But I'm gonna explain that to you in a second more. But then you also have the option, if you're working on something with your shoulder turn, with your head, something like that, of course your focus needs to be there. And there, if you say, okay, I'm gonna focus on my shoulder turn, that the right shoulder goes back or the left shoulder goes towards the ball, then I think it's absolutely fine that you start the backswing with the shoulder turn. But the other main thing is that the rest is coming with you as well, of course, because the whole backswing or the whole golf swing is a whole body movement, right? It's not only the shoulders, because your hips need to go as well. So let me get into that subject a little bit deeper now. I'm just going to explain to you what I think and what I do. So let's just start it from the beginning on. You get to your address position, and as I said, you know, many people think of the shoulder turn, but then the most important thing is that also the weight is going back in your hip, in your right heel, because if you're just lifting up the club, then you're too far front and the club can come from the outside. So if you start from up, you have to take care that the lower body is also working. Let's put it into the correct way. When I say the bottom, from bottom up, of course, you can actually push yourself a little bit to the right and up with your foot. You know, it's like a ground force. You're pushing yourself up because the feet are working more like this, right? So there, your weight is going a little bit more on the, I'm talking for the right-handers, on the left front foot, and then it goes into the right heel. And the same way you're shifting over, and then it's the other way around in your feet, right? So this is one thing you can work on, that you say, okay, your weight needs to go into your right heel, the left front foot, and so the body turn is starting with your hip and with your feet, and then your upper body is just following. But on the other hand, as I said, I can totally understand that you say, okay, I'm gonna start with the right shoulder back behind my head and the left shoulder down towards the ball. So this is the backswing. I'm just gonna demonstrate it to you. My thought is really going back in my right heel and into my left front foot, like this, right? So my left knee is going forward, my right leg is getting a little bit straighter. This is my thought at the moment. This is the backswing. So this is what you can think with your feet, with your hip, and then of course the upper body is following, or the other way around. But you will see what works better for you. So now, how are you gonna start the downswing? And there I think there you really should focus on the ground, because there you can really create some power. You can use some ground force to get your hip turn, because actually from that left foot it pushes you away, it pushes you back, and this is how the hip turn is actually working. It's not a turn as the most people think, because what happens if you turn, the club will come from the outside. It's actually more pushing away to the back. If you look at the best players, I mean, let's just take world's #1 at the moment, Scottie Scheffler. You look at his feet, it might look a little bit wild, but in the end of the day, he's pushing himself to the back. And then he really, really gets his nice shoulder and his nice hip turn going. I mean, it could be a little bit complicated, but on the other hand, it really needs to get a shift onto that left foot. If you need a certain or a specific thought, you have to get to that left side. If your thought is you have to rotate right away, this is wrong. And I seldom use that word, it's wrong, but this is really wrong, because if you start turning in a second, you stay too long on that back foot. So you have to shift onto that left foot. And for me, it's more a stepping onto that left foot and that it pushes you backwards, right? So I try to demonstrate that to you now. Down and backwards. And this is actually how you transfer your weight to the front, to the left side for me. And then you're already covering the ball and then you can turn away. And of course, because I also get asked, what is the hip and what is that left leg doing? I mean, finally, it's getting straighter, but also the hip is turning the same way. You cannot just straighten that leg because then you're still in your way. You have to straighten it and also to turn it the same way. This is what my coach Danny and I been working on a lot lately, because I'm also struggling to get away to the left side, because most golfers, they are so focused on the backswing, they totally forget it's going the other way to the left side as well. To sum it up, finally, if you're able, if you're a good player, you can really focus on your feet, that how it's working in your feet. And this is how you should start the backswing and how you should start the follow through. But on the other hand, if it's too much to have two thoughts in your head, really think that your whole body is moving together. When I was amateur, I remember I was very focused that my hip, because the hip finally is holding everything together. So once the hip starts moving, everything else is moving as well. So maybe that might be a very good thought for you too. So let's just try to give you that thought with that hip. So I just demonstrate that to you. So the hip is going backwards, it's going to the right heel. So this is my starting thought now. And maybe I should use that more often, you know, because it's always working, or it's still working. Now I gave you two thoughts, and maybe one is working for you. You can always choose in a few thoughts. There's not always one right way. There are many ways to do. Now I wish you good luck and have fun practicing.